Please look at page 218. So in the middle, we have Maranasana Viti, near-death cognitive series. And yesterday we say at the time of near-death, one of three near-death signs usually appear. So Kama Namitta is the Kama sign, the sign, and then Gati Namitta is the sign of destiny. Now in the next the topic, we give you Ati Mahanta Aramana. Aramana means sense object of very great intensity. Chakudwara appear in the eye door, and Maranasana Viti, near-death cognitive series arise. So the present karma object, the object that we see while we are doing the present karma, and the sign of destiny, they can appear in one of the five sense doors. Now we say a sense object of very great intensity appearing in the eye door. Then we will have the following near-death cognitive series. Jessica, you have to show me the chart number 9. Chart number 9. So we have to compare with chart number 9. So I hope you remember this chart. So you can see the same here. We have Chakudwara, the eye door, Ati Mahanta Ramana, sense object of very great intensity. So as the sense, the Viti, the same, they are similar. That means at the arising moment of Ati Govinda is the past life continuum. The sense objects strikes the ear door, the eye door in this case. And for sense object of very great intensity, it takes one conscious moment to develop itself to become distinct. So at the arising moment of this Govinda Chalana, vibrating like continuum, the sense object appears at the eye door. And then the light continuum vibrates 2 times and cut off when the Dalamana, this Bhavingupachida is arrested Govinda. So after that, Govinda's stream is cut off. Then Viti cognitive series arise. Pancha Dwara Vajana, apprehend or take notice of the sense object. Jakuvinyana sees it, Samrechana receives that sense object, Sandirana investigates it. Vattavana is performed by Manodwara Vajana. It determines where the sense object is good or bad. So in normal situation, the Javana, the impulsive consciousness, Javana Chitta, they can be either Kusala or Akusala Chitta, arises 7 times. And in the Dalamana, in the Ati Mahanta, very great intensity, we also have 2 Dalamana. We call them the registering consciousness. And when the second, the Dalamana dissolve, the sense object that appears here also dissolve. And then after that, only Govinda Chaita keep arising. So now, if you look at the bottom cognitive series on page 218, they are the same. Tinada, so you can compare Tinada, Pacha, Samrechana, Santirana, Vattavana, the same. And then instead of 7 Javana, we have only 5 Javana. It's because we say at the time of near death, the heart base is weak. So only 5 Javana Chitta arises in the near death cognitive series. And after that, 2 Dalamana arises, and then Govinda Chitta arises. That means when Govinda Chitta arises, that cognitive series, that eye-door cognitive series terminates. It terminates. It comes to an end. Then after the Govinda Chitta, Chuti. So that means that consciousness arises. That way, when that consciousness dissolves, the person dies. The person dies. Now, soon after that person dies, soon after the dead consciousness dissolves, Patisanti Chaita is rebirth consciousness in the next life arises without any lapse in time, without any break in the mental state. And after Patisanti Chaita arises, Bhovinga Chaita arises. Just like here, just the lower one. The lower one. So when we say in the next life, we begin with Patisanti, rebirth consciousness, and after that life continuum will keep on arising.
咁咧，我哋琴日咧就有講嗰個死亡嘅心路過程啦。咁死亡咧，琴日都有講啦。我哋所緣咧，死亡嗰個心嘅所緣咧，可能嗰個所緣咧係3種情形啦。一種咧就係我哋做過嘅業啦，呈現出嚟啦。咁就係我哋嘅業門呈現出嚟啦。一個咧就係業相啦。咁或者係隨相嘅。咁業相或者隨相啦，佢都會生喺我哋個五門嘅，未必淨係我哋嘅二門。我哋可能眼睛睇到一啲嘢啦，同埋耳仔聽到啲嘢嘅。咁教授咧就攞呢張第9張圖啦，咁就比較啦。呢個圖咧係我哋知道係最長一個認知過程啦、心路過程啦，就眼門極大所緣嘅心路過程啦。咁我哋記得咧，就係當嗰個所緣出現嘅時候咧。咁過去嘅有份波動咧，過去有份咧就會出現一次啦。咁呢個所緣咧撞擊我哋嘅眼根嘅時候咧，咁咧呢個時候咧就嗰個有份心波動一次之後咧就斷咗啦。而由呢個五門轉向身嘅開始咧，就開始嗰個認知嘅過程啦。咁例如眼識生起啦，對嗰個所緣啦。領受心生起啦，推導心生起啦，確認心生起啦。跟住咧喺一般情形之下最長啦，因為個所緣係好明顯嘅啦，極強嘅啦。咁就有7個速行心咧生起嘅。咁7個速行心生起之後咧，就有2個比所緣生起之後咧，就去咗有份心啦，就繼續有份心啦。咁喺我哋嘅死亡過程咧，喺第218頁咧。咁我哋係下面嗰咧，即係大家可以睇最下面嗰個心路過程咧。咁其實同呢個好相似嘅，所唔同嘅咧，就首先咧佢係 TI 啦，就係過去有份發生咗一次之後咧，嗰個有份波動 NA 係有份波動啦 ，DA 係有份斷啦。當個有份心斷咗嘅時候咧，個心咧就開始呢個認知嘅過程啦，五門嘅認知過程啦。而家呢個情形咧就係、眼門啦，首先咧就係一個五門轉向心啦 ，PA 係五門轉向心啦，跟住 CA 咧就係眼識生起啦，跟住一個領受心啦，跟住就係一個推動心，跟住咧就係一個確定心啦 ，VO 就係確定心啦。咁你見到有5個Jhana 嘅啦 ，JA 啦，咁速行啦，咁之後咧就2個比所緣 DA， 大家睇書啊，呢度就冇啦嚇，我哋個圖上面就冇啦。218頁最下面啦，咁2個 DA 咧就係比所緣嘅，咁跟住咧就係一個有份心生起之後咧，就係一個死亡心生起嘅。咁呢個死亡心咧就係我哋最後一個心識啦，喺呢一期生命。咁佢之後咧就會死亡心生起之後咧就會繼續。另外一個生起嘅心咧，就係、是、下一生嘅結生嘅心啦，就係而家呢個可能睇唔到啊，唔知睇唔睇到啦，就係、下一世嘅結生心啦。咁所唔同嘅咧，即係我哋而家講嘅過程同我哋頭先呢個第九章差所唔同咧，就係、是、嗰個速行咧都係2次，少2次啦，即係得5次最多。因為流死個心識咧係弱嘅，所以咧就跑唔到7次咁多次啦。
At the top of page 219, we give you the second form of near-death cognitive series. Actually, it is similar or identical with number 1. So if you look at the Tina Da Pacha, Sambadechana, Sandina, Vuttavana, 5 Jamana, and 2 Dadalamana. Up to that, the same as number 1. And the difference is after the 2 Dadalamana, no Bhovinga Chaita arises, Chukti Chaita arises right away. So after the Dalamana, the person dies. And then we have Napati Santi and Bhovinga in the next line. So for the explanation, the paragraph below, you can read it. I already explained it. Just look at the last paragraph of that page, 219. Thus, for the stream of consciousness to flow on, there is no barrier in time and space. So that means the next existence may occur in the Brahma realm, very far from the human realm. But soon after death in the human realm, rebirth consciousness arises in the Brahma realm. So no lapse in time. So we say the idea of timeless and spaceless is realized here. Also the idea that the soul wanders around before it enters the next life, as believed in other religion, is not correct. There is no soul, nor any person, so as described in Abhidhamma. There are only incessant flow of mental stream, and material stream. Only the keeps it going on, life from life. Yes.
咁咧，我哋咧跟住而家睇咧就係219頁咧係極強所緣咧，另外一個最後一個新路嘅嗰個認知過程啦。咁首先咧，當嗰個所緣產生趣相或者業相產生喺我哋嘅五門嘅時候咧，嗰、個有份過去有份生起一次，跟住有份波動啦，有份心斷咗之後咧，跟住就五門轉向心，決定邊個門發生咩事。知道係眼識，咁呢個眼識生起啦，跟住就係領受啦、推墮啦，同埋確定啦。之後咧就跟住有5個速行嘅。咁呢5個速行之後咧就有2個比所緣啦。大家記得比所緣咧就係五門嘅所緣先有比所緣生喺欲界嘅心嚟嘅。跟住之後咧就係一個死亡心。咁所同頭先個唔同咧就係嗰個。死亡心嘅比所緣中間咧，佢就冇一個有份心嘅。咁同埋咧，大家喺呢2個情形入邊都可以見到咧，呢個出 T 咧即係死亡心死咗完咗之後咧，另外一個心即刻升起嘅咧就係結生嘅心。結生嘅心之後咧就係又係有份心啦。呢個結生嘅心咧係同呢個死亡心咧係之間係冇間隙嘅，即係冇其他中間冇發生任何嘢嘅。咁個解釋咧就係話咧，我哋嘅意識流咧係不停咁樣係流轉啦、運作啦，喺中間咧係冇時空嘅限制嘅。我哋呢一刻喺欲界死亡咧，下一刻可能係梵天投生嘅，中間咧冇任何時差啦。咁咧所以咧就同有啲宗教唔同啦，認為有靈魂啊。或者仲有啲人啊，又點樣去寄生啊等等啊，咁即係其實喺呢個佛教嘅理論上咧，就係話呢一刻死，下一刻即刻咧就會下一個心識咧就會生起喺唔同嘅時空，係因應佢個業報嘅。
On page 2220. Now we give you B, the second type of near-death cognitive series, for Mahanta Ramana, sense object of fairly great intensity, so appearing at the eye door. So page 220. So you can compare with the cognitive series described on page 144, if you wish to, because on page 144. We describe for the Mahanta Ramana Vici occurring in the eye door. The same thing. Just we change the jhana, instead of 7 jhana, we get 5 jhana. That's all. On page 144, you can see. We give you 2 near the bottom. the occurrence of Mahandaramana Viti. So in number 1, there is Titi, Nada Paja, Samadechana, Sandila Vuttavana, and 7 Javana, then Bhuvinga Chitta arises. So in the second case, instead of 2 Atita Ramana, we get 3 TTT. So, so here we describe, so here you can look here. So you can compare the same. Don't.
You see the top.
Oh, this one.
Yeah,
That's correct. So in Mahandaramana, the sense object is of fairly great intensity. So after it strikes that idol, at the arising moment of the first Atita Bhuvinga, it takes 2 conscious moments to develop itself to become distinct. So it becomes distinct at the arising moment of Bhuvinga Chalana, vibrating like continuum. Then the life continuum vibrates 2 times and cut off. And then Panchavara Vajana apprehend the sense object, Chakkuvinyana sees it, Samadechana receives the sense object, Samnirana investigates it, Vuttavana determine it, and we have 5 Javana Chitta again. So the near death cognitive series, we have always 5 Javana Chitta. So here the Dalamana will not arise. And then after the 7 Javana, the 5 Javana, the 5th Javana, 1 Bhuvinga Chitta arises, and then the person dies, Chuti. And then the next existence, rebirth consciousness and life continuum arises. So in the second VT, instead of 2 Atita Bhuvinga, we get 3 Atita Bhuvinga, because sense object is weaker. It takes a longer time to develop itself to become distinct. Then again we have the same, the cognitive series going on. So after the 5 Javana Chitta, so Chuti Chitta arises. Without Bhuvinga Chitta arises after the Javana, no Bhuvinga Chitta arises, and we get Chuti, death consciousness right away. And again we have rebirth consciousness and life continuum of the next existence.
咁咧，我哋下一個認知過程咧，就死亡嘅心路認知過程咧，就係個所緣咧係強嘅，但係咧唔係極強嘅。咁同頭先有咩唔同咧？就係咧個過去有份咧要發生2次，嗰個心咧先至可以認知到嗰個所緣嘅，咁先至開始咧發生個有份波動咧，認知到嗰個有嘢發生啦。咁有份斷咧係令到嗰個有份心嗰個意識流斷咗，開始咗呢個5門轉向心啦、眼識生氣啦、領受啦、推導啦同埋確定啦。之後咧就有5個速行嘅，跟住咧最後跟住咧有份心之後咧死亡心生起，跟住咧就係下一個結生心生起嘅。咁另外一個情形咧就係嗰個所緣咧要3次有份波動，過去有份發生之後咧先至可以開始正常嗰個認知過程啦，因為嗰個所緣唔係咁強啦。咁2個有份波動之後咧就開始同頭先類似嘅呢個認知過程啦。咁就同樣咧都有5個速行啦，跟住咧就有一個死亡心生起，跟住就係結生心生起。咁5個速行咧，大家記得咧係呢個時候作業嘅善業或者惡業，其他嗰啲心識全部都係果報心或者為咗心嚟嘅。
Then we describe the Atikvi Buddha Ramana Manodwara Maranasana Viti. So this Atikvi Buddha Ramana, sense object of very clear. So Vibhuta is clear, very clear sense object appearing in the mind door this time, Manodwara. So Maranasana Viti, near death cognitive series arise in this way. So you can also compare this Viti with the page 55. On page 55 we describe there Atikvi Buddha Ramana Viti in the mind door for ordinary occasion. The same thing just like here. So in the mind, though, the sense object can appear directly, like the karma. The karma, when the karma appears as the near-death object, it arises in the mind door. And the past karma sense object, not the past karma sense object, not the past object, they can arise only in the mind door. So, when the mind door is, I ask you to compare this with this, the same thing here. They are the same thing. So instead of 7 jhana, here we have 5 jhana. That is the only difference. So, when the sense object appears in the mind door, so here we don't need atita bhuvinga, because in the mind door, the sense object, as soon as it strikes the sense, the eye door, the mind door, it appears. So when the sense object appears, so the bhuvinga stream, like continua, vibrates 2 times and cut off. And in this case, instead of pancha dwara vajana, mano dwara vajana, mind door, directing consciousness, will apprehend the sense object, that is, it confronts or take notice of the sense object, and it decides whether it is good or bad, because mano dwara vajana performs 2 functions, apprehending and deciding. So after deciding whether the sense object is good or bad, the jhana citta arises 5 times. So we call them the Maranasana, the jhana citta. Maranasana, near death, jhana citta, always arise 5 times. So after that, when the sense object is very clear or very great intensity, the dhalamana arises 2 times. And after that, bhuvinga citta arises, so that means this cognitive, the near-death cognitive series, it terminates or it comes to an end here. And then the person dies, chuti, and then again, the next life, the rebirth consciousness and life continuum arises. So in the second VT, it should be 2, 1, 2. So we say it's the same just as above. So here we say after the 2 dhalamana, this bhuvinga citta do not arise, does not arise. And the person dies immediately after the dhalamana. And then again, after that, the rebirth consciousness and life continuum arise in the next life.
咁咧，當我哋嗰個5門咧見到所緣咧之後咧，咁如果我哋臨死個心咧係喺2門產生嘅時候咧，咁嗰個2門嘅臨死嘅生活過程就係咁嘅。咁佢咧係呢個情形咧就係所緣係好清晰㗎啦。咁同頭先我哋正常平時一般嘅嗰個心路過程咧係好相似嘅。首先咧就係有份波動啦，有份斷啦，跟住咧就有2門轉向心啦，嗰個心咧就確定嘅作用啦，知道個所緣係點樣啦，跟住咧就有5個觸行啦，跟住有2個比所緣啦，咁一個有份心之後咧個死亡心就生起，跟住咧就係一個結生心生起嘅。咁另一個情形咧，就係亦都係類似啦，所唔同咧就係話死亡心同埋呢個比所緣之間咧係冇有份心嘅。
So here in the case D, we give you instead of ati, vibhuta ramana. So we say just vibhuta ramana. So send the fairly clear sense object appearing in the mind door and producing near-death cognitive series. So this VT is the same just like here, the same. Only we omit the 2 dhalamana. So after the jhana, the dhalamana arises only when the sense object is of very great intensity or very clear. So when the sense object is fairly clear, it does not arise. So without the dhalamana arising, after the jhana, 1 bhuvinga citta arises and then chuti, just like here. And in the next, again here, after the jhana, the person can die immediately. So after that, again, rebirth consciousness, life continuum appears in the next in the next existence.
咁咧，另外一個情形咧，就係我哋喺我哋嘅2門嘅所緣咧係清晰啦，但係唔係十分清晰嘅。 咁喺呢個情形之後，嗰、個最後嘅心路認知過程咧，就係同頭先嗰個咧少少唔同，少少唔同咧就係嗰個比所緣咧就唔產生嘅。咁即係速行咗5個速行之後咧，就有一個有份心，跟住就死亡心生起啦。呢、個眾生喺呢一期生命死咗之後咧，咁嗰個結生心咧喺第二度產生啦。咁另外一個情形就係咧，就係有份心都冇啦，速行咗之後即刻死亡心啦，跟住係結生心嘅。
So this near-death cognitive series that they arise in this way can be verified by yourself if you come and undertake meditation. Because in Vipassana meditation, we have to find out our past existence. We have to find out our past system. So we have to trace the present, the mental stream, backward until we come to the rebirth, consciousness of this life. So that is the Pratisandhiceta of this life. And then if you go back a little, you just trace backward, you can see the dead consciousness of the past life. And this also the Maranasana Viti, near-death cognitive series. You can verify by yourself. So you can be very sure that you have lived in the past, and soon after you die there, you are born in a new existence without any break in the mental stream. So this finding is very, very significant, very important. Just like I say, no other religions know about this. They don't know. They think that after we die, the soul or the ego, or like they also call in the Hindu the atta, jiva atta, they call it, the soul. So they say the soul comes out, and in the case of the Hindu, they say it enters a new body and reincarnates. So the new person reincarnated. No such thing. No such thing. The soul coming out and get into there. And say, no such thing. And then, just in other religion, they say the soul have to wait in the tomb till Judgment Day. So they have to wait for a long time, they say. So no such thing. So soon after we die, the next existence arises immediately. And we also have very good evidences for these things. So in my book, Dhamma, the Real Creator, so I'm glad to hear that Jessica said one lady is going to translate it into Mandarin. So you can read in Mandarin. So some of you already have that book. Who wants can already get that book. So there I describe about Edgar Cayce. So you continue first. You explain first.
Okay. 係啦，咁頭先咧，我哋講咗嗰個臨死嘅嗰個心路過程啦。咁咧好似好簡單咁，我哋個個都係咁死㗎啦。咁但係咧，同我哋有咩關係咧？如果啲唔信嘅人咧，係可以修呢個內觀咧，係驗證嘅。咁教授講咧就係話，如果我哋修內觀嘅時候咧，係可以去一個心識咧，係睇到即係由今生到而家咧，即係由你修嘅時候咧，就去睇翻，咁睇到你今生嘅結生心，睇到今生嘅結生心之後咧，睇到前面嗰個就係上一世嘅死亡心，咁就即係其實係可以觀到咯。咁你觀到之後，你就唔會有疑問咯。如果咧即係呢種能力咧，或者呢種知識咧，只有即係佛法入邊先有啦。咁其他嘅宗教咧都講可能有靈魂啊，咁靈魂喺色身死咗之後咧就會化身或者轉世啊，但係嗰個靈魂或者 atta 咧就係冇變化嘅，不過咧就轉咗一個物質嘅身體啫。咁呢啲咧就通通都唔係啦。咁即係佛教嘅理論就係話，我哋而家係咁講，咁亦都唔信嘅人都可以去驗證下啦。
So I'd like to tell you about this story, very significant, and it is very, very supportive to the teaching of Buddhism. So it was in the 1900, in the year 1900. So a medical man by the name of Edgar Cayce appears in the United States. Edgar Cayce. So I think I have already told you about him before. So this man, Edgar Cayce. So he was not just an ordinary American. He finished only up to secondary the education, and then he worked as a bookseller, and later as the what do you call it? Insurance, life insurance salesman. And then he lost his voice. It cannot be cured by any doctor. And then a hypnotizer who went round, down from down, just try to hypnotize people to show them how he can hypnotize people. Now when he hypnotized Edgar Cayce can speak. And then they asked him, "Do you know why you cannot speak?" "Yes," he said, "I know." "Then please tell us." So he tells his condition. So he said, here's the muscle that controls his vocal cord becomes very weak, so he cannot speak. And they asked him, "Would there be any way to cure it?" "Yes," he said. "You just suggest." So the hypnotizer have to give the suggestion to increase my blood circulation in the throat, not in the throat. So the hypnotizer suggested. So they watch. In 20 minutes, here, the area here becomes the pinkish, reddish, and then violet. That means more blood is flowing here. Then he said, after 20 minutes, stop, he said. So he would talk after that. And then, as he can cure his disease, which is not cured by other doctors, so they asked him to cure other chronic, the people with chronic diseases. So he cured more than 30,000 people, the patients, from 1900 to 1901 to 1923. That means in 23 years, he cured more than 30,000 patients, not only from all over the United States, but also from Europe. And very, very amazing. When they asked to cure that person, that patient, you don't need to bring that patient to him. So that patient is invalid, cannot travel. So he says, just tell me the name of that person and where that person is at the present time. So he hypnotized himself, or his wife hypnotized him, and then so by extrasensory perception, so he can go there and diagnose the patient in detail, and then give the medical prescription. So all his subscription is the herbal medicine. So they are all cured. So more than 30,000 cured. So Jessica.
Okay.我都唔知佢講邊個，查下先。咁咧就講起咩先？咁咧佢就講咧，其實咧就係輪迴轉世咧，我哋佛教講啲嘢咧，其實咧唔係淨係佛教嘅，咁其實咧有好多嘢係支持呢樣嘢嘅，而且咧咁佢又講咧喺20世紀初咧有個人咧就叫Edgar Cayce啦，佢嗰本書關於熱嗰本書咧，佢有做過佢嘅即係研究啦呢個人啦，咁呢個人咧就係一個普通人嚟嘅。 以前即係啱啱開始嘅時候，即係後生嗰陣時係一個普通人啦，冇咩特別嘢。咁咧就係即係淨係讀到中學啦，咁同埋咧佢就做推銷啦，咁做下咧佢個忽然之間個喉嚨咧就失咗聲，咁失咗聲之後啱啱嗰排咧佢嗰個住嘅地方咧就有啲催眠師嚟，咁催眠師咧就即係當堂表演嘅時候咧就話可以醫到佢，即係醫到佢，但係咧之後咧就佢又冇翻聲，咁佢知道係有得醫啦，咁佢通過催眠咧最終都係醫好咗佢。咁醫好咗佢咧，咁呢個人咧，佢都自己有咁樣嘅潛質能力啦。咁後尾佢自己咧都學咗催眠。咁佢喺1901年至1923年咧，佢用佢自己即係佢學識嘅呢個催眠嘅方法咧，就醫好咗超過3萬人嘅。咁咧佢甚至咧即係神奇到咧唔使見嗰個人嘅，即係好犀利啦呢個人。咁即係有啲記載啦。
Well, it's good Jessica got this. She also supported me. So actually I have this book, I have read this book. So they call it Many Mansions by Gina Saminara. Saminara. So this book was the bestseller for 2-3 years in America. So they say they published in 1950, and this book can also be available. If you look in the bookstore, you can ask them to get this book. So very wonderful. So when he diagnosed those patients, he said the disease of some patients are connected with their past bad karma. So he also talked about the karma. So he under hypnosis he could see that. So he said in treating them, just giving the medicine is not enough. He also you have to also cure the effect of the bad karma. So only then you can cure that sort of person. So he also knew that's karma. So many chronic diseases are related to the past karma. And now in the 1923, while he was under hypnosis, a close friend of him asked him to give him a reading or about his they call it archaeological chart. So you know that archaeological chart? So about the effects of the planets on him. So then the Edgar Cayce said, those planets, they have very little effect on us. Very little effect on. So what is more important is the learnings, the experience, the talents, and the knowledge of the past existences. So in the past existences also, only the human existences that you learn in the past human existences, they come to the present existence, we say. So they call it the tribes from the past existence. These are more important, we say. And then after that, he gives the live readings of many persons who requested him for a live reading. Live reading means you just that at that time there was a lady working as the telegraph operator in New York. So she had to send many telegrams to Edgar Cayce, who lives in Virginia Beach. So requesting for live readings. So she became interested. She also requested for a live reading of herself. So in about 1 week, the live reading came to her. And then it said there, the live reading said, you are wasting your time as a telegraph operator. You have been a very successful commercial artist in several existences of your past life. And you can be one again now if you try. So she had never thought of the learning about this, the painting, etc. So she enrolled in an art school, and just after attending the several, just a few classes, then she could remember what she had learned in the past. So she became a famous the commercial artist again. So these things they occur. So at KTC, we can reach so many people. It's very wonderful. Just like in Myanmar, I have a very close friend, I might say, or a close one of my students. In the Kuen city near Mandalay. So he was a university graduate, and he was making a living by opening a shop for photography. So photography shop. And at one time he went for a retreat, meditation retreat. So for 1 month or more. And then when he could develop a certain concentration, he remembered how to do the painting and the sculpting. So when he came back, he started painting. Oh, his paintings are of good quality, so many people come and buy. And also he do the sculpting, very good quality. So what Ekagesi saw was correct. And that describes the teaching of the Buddha. That is all our knowledge, and we learned in the past, for several past lives. They are being transmitted from life to life, because there is no break in the mental stream at the time of death. So all but the knowledge you learn in this life. So at the time of death will be transmitted to the rebirth consciousness of the next life. So all this will go there. You just forget it because it is a long time ago. Because you cannot remember even what food you take 7 days ago. So you will forget it. But now if you hypnotize that, you can remember. You can remember all these things. So if we know this thing, it will be very, very useful for us in life. Okay.
咁咧講翻呢個Edgar Cayce 咧，呢個催眠嘅人咧，其實佢本身係一個天主教徒嚟嘅，基督徒就係天主教徒，佢唔係信佛教嘅。但係因為佢幫人催眠咧，佢就發覺咧嗰啲人知道嘅嘢同埋知道嗰啲人過去生嘅嘢咧，其實都令到佢幾煩惱啦，因為佢發覺原來真係有業力啦，同埋之前啲人都存在，即係有輪迴啦。佢1923年咧有個朋友咧就叫佢問下佢關於星座嗰啲嘢啊，對個朋友有咩影響？咁呢個Edgar Cayce咧就講咧，佢話星座其實呢啲對我哋冇咩影響，對我哋有影響嘅咧係我哋知道我哋過去生係做過咩嘢，學過咩嘢，我哋嘅經歷係點樣，呢啲仲重要。但係佢有嗰個能力咧，因為佢識得催眠啦，咁佢知道啦。咁另外其中一個例子咧，就係有一個女士喺英國嘅，咁咧佢係做嗰啲電報局啦，幫人去操作電報啦、發電報嗰啲嘅，即係普通文員啦、文職啦。咁佢咧知道呢個Edgar Cayce嘅時候咧，佢就請求佢啦，就問下佢過去啲嘢啦，唔使面對面喎，一個人喺美國，一個人喺英國。咁咧Edgar Cayce好犀利啦，咁佢唔知點樣。可能睇下佢知識或者點樣啦，即係佢有能力啦，佢有嗰啲特異功能啦，咁佢做咗呢個女士嘅分析啦即係過去生嘅分析之後咧，佢就覆翻呢個女士咧，就同佢講，佢話咧其實你唔應該去做電報局做呢啲咁嘅簡單嘅嘢嘅，你喺過去生咧好多世咧，你係做呢個商業嘅藝術家幫人設計嘢嘅，你係好有天賦嘅，你不如做翻嗰啲啦。咁個女士咧就完全唔識得設計嗰個藝術嗰方面冇學過嘅，但係佢聽咗話之後咧，佢就去學，但係好快之內咧佢就做得好好啦。咁佢就轉咗行啦，同埋好成功啦。咁教授咧亦都講咗另外一個例子，就係喺緬甸咧佢有個朋友咧，啱啱即係喺緬甸北部嗰陣時咧， 佢初嘅就係開影相鋪嘅，咁咧影相鋪冇咩特別嘢啦。咁跟住咧佢就去禪修咗一段時間啦，唔知1個月啦定係幾，即係過咗一段時間咧，佢個心咧就去到一定嘅專注力嘅時候咧，咁佢出翻嚟之後咧，佢忽然之間咧就記得翻點樣去畫畫，可以畫得好好，同埋咧點樣去雕刻。咁佢發現咗咁樣嘅能力同埋想去做咧，咁佢就去試住去做啦。咁咧就發覺咧佢自己係一個好有天賦嘅畫家嚟嘅，同埋又雕刻得好好嘅，咁又轉咗行啦。咁教授佢啲例子咧，就係想講明咧，其實我哋過去生咧積累咗好多嘅能力啦，或者經驗啦，或者技巧啦、技術啦，咁其實係我哋自己唔記得咯。咁唔係話即係好多嘢係好快可以記翻嘅。
And I was quite surprised actually, when I learned about Abhidhamma like this here. So I thought that only the Buddha, just by looking at the mind of a person, he could know all the past, all his past experiences. And I think even like the Sariputta and Moggallana, they don't know the past existence of other person. Because even Sariputta, he make a mistake in giving the meditation subject to a human. So during the time of the Buddha, so it was a traditional way. So if a monk is newly ordained, so the teacher should teach him how to undertake Asubha Bhavana, meditation on the dead corpse. So Sariputta, so he gave this meditation to one of his new disciple. So that disciple, he was very honest and he tried to meditate very strenuously for 3 months. He could not get even any sign, any meditation sign. And then the Sariputta asked him now to continue for 1 more month. Still he didn't get any sign. So then Sariputta took this man to the Buddha. So he told the Buddha, so this my disciple could not get any sign after meditating for 4 months, though he meditated very honestly. So the Buddha asked him, what meditation subject did you give him? Oh, I asked him, just as usual, to meditate on a dead corpse, on a dead corpse. So that is we call Asubha Bhavana. Well, you give the wrong meditation, the Buddha said. You just leave your disciple with me. So you in the evening you come and take him back, the Buddha said. So then the Buddha asked this young man to meditate on the yellow kasina. Yellow kasina. So the Buddha knew that by looking this man, he has been a goldsmith for many past existences, always looking on the gold, beautiful metal, the gold. And he, when he was asked to look on the dead corpse, the rotting dead corpse. He didn't want to look at it. But now he was asked to do on the yellow kasina, which is also the color of gold. You can even meditate on the gold as the yellow color. Then very soon he can develop concentration and undertake vipassana meditation. In the same day, he became an arahat. In the evening, he became an arahat. So when Sariputta came, he told back already arahat.
咁咧教授咧自己咧就舉例子咧，佢話其實咧佢對於佢自己嘅經驗咧，就係佢學阿毗達摩嘅時候咧，都係成年以後啦。咁咧佢自己咧就初以為咧阿毗達摩好難學嘅，佢只有佛陀先至可以有咁嘅智慧去開始咁樣嘅法。咁甚至咧佢知道人哋嘅心咧，譬如佛陀有咁嘅能力，一睇到一個人咧就知道佢過去。咁啲能力咧就只係佛陀先有，就算舍利弗咧都冇嘅，或者目犍連。咁佢舉其中一個例子就係話咧，舍利弗收咗個新弟子嘅時候咧，咁咧通常咧佢哋就會俾嗰個 新出家嘅出家人咧就修禪修嘅題目啦。咁舍利弗咧就俾咗呢個比丘咧修呢個不淨觀啦。咁修咗3個月咧，呢個比丘咧就入唔到定啦，又好艱難啦，修得。咁佢又叫佢修多1個月都係唔得。咁舍利弗冇辦法嘅時候咧，就去揾佛陀啦，就話點解我呢個徒弟咧點解修呢個法唔得咧？咁佛陀咧就話，即係知道呢個人嘅背景咧，就係佢過去生咧係金匠嚟嘅，即係整金色嘅。咁呢整金色嘅人咧就要追求完美啦，同埋好靚嘅嘢。你叫佢修觀死屍咧，咁即係佢個心可能排斥到緊要。咁佛陀咧就叫嗰個比丘咧就觀黃片嘅，即係黃色嘅嗰啲用黃色嘅所緣咧去修持嘅。咁呢1日之內咧就已經修到阿羅漢啦。
Now, Ekadasi also gave his own life readings. So he said, during the time of Egyptian kings, so that is about 3,000 years ago, he was a very high priest with occult power. So that means like supernormal power. He got developed that. And in one of the later existence, he was a doctor, medical doctor in Pasha. So at one time, he had to take part in the battle, in the battle in the desert. So the Persian army, he had to take part in that. So fighting with the enemies, and he was fatally injured. So all his men, they went back, leaving him on the desert, just leaving him to die. He cannot move. There's no food there. So in the hot sun, he was left there. So when he was left there, he said, he tried to meditate. So he tried to undertake meditation to relieve his mind from the body. So the body is very painful in the hot sun and also injured. So and finally he succeeded to release his mind from his body. That was what is written there. So from our understanding, when you attain like the jhana, so we say you attain the extrasensory perception, just like Ekadasi, he can diagnose the patients far away without going there. So you get this ability. So when you get this ability, they say you can release your mind from your body. Actually, no such thing that releasing the mind from the body. Not only that you get, he can develop the jhana, etc. And he get this ESP power. So these are the supporting factors. So in this, the life of Ekadasi, so when he was under hypnosis, then he regained this supernormal power, as I say, ESP, and also giving the right medical treatment because he remembered those medical knowledge. And now this Ekadasi, also he was, as Jessica put on here, so he had very good record, very clear record. So it has been already, such a man really existed. And it was in America. How nice. So during that time, those books, they are very, very popular. That means people are very interested in this thing. But as they cannot explain it, and they are not described like in Christianity. There's no such thing. So later they just forgot it. But for us, we have to revive them to let the people know and to show that the teaching of the Buddha is correct.
咁咧就講翻嗰個 Ekadasi 咧，本身咧佢咧因為佢自己都知道自己過去生嘅嘢啦，咁佢咧就記得咧佢喺古埃及嘅時候咧，佢曾經係一個祭司啦，咁又有特異功能啦。咁咧跟住咧過去生有一世咧就係普魯士嘅一個醫生嚟嘅。咁喺戰場上面咧有一次咧就俾人遺棄咗啦，自己受咗傷就喺度等死啦。咁但係佢冇辦法之下咧，佢就 臨死嘅時候咧，咁佢就開始即係我哋今日所講嘅禪修啦。咁即係唔理自己嘅身體，個心就專注啦。咁又可以忘記痛苦啦。咁喺嗰陣時咧，佢就培育咗好似類似我哋專注力好強嘅呢個定力啦。咁佢咧就有啲特異功能嘅。咁所以咧佢今生咧叫做 application 呢一生咧，佢好多能力咧都係佢過去生有嘅，俾佢記翻咯。咁教授咧就講咧，佢話呢件事咧當時係美國好轟動嘅，好出名嘅。但係而家咧就可能俾人遺忘咗啦。所以咧，但係呢啲唔係即係佢嘅事情咧，或者佢揾出嚟嘅嘢咧，唔係一個佛教徒揾出嚟嘅嘢嘅。呢個就係唔係一個信，因為有信而去揾出嚟嘅嘢，係一個非佛教徒咁用佢嘅方法，咁佢揾出嚟嘅嘢咧係同我哋佛教即係所認為嘢係相似嘅，咁所以佢攞出嚟講啦。
Now we go to page 221. So please, Jessica, so in this, we come to this topic, the rebirth consciousness in the next life. So how is this rebirth consciousness produced? Who produces it? There may be the question like that. So we say the karma. So of the many karmas, we say one karma becomes successful to condition the rebirth of the next life. So soon the person dies in the present existence. So that karma produces its resultant consciousness. So and then it produces resultant consciousness one after another. And we say the first consciousness, it functions as rebirth consciousness. And the subsequent, the resultant consciousness, they function as the life continuum. So please show the chart number 9 again, about so we describe this the consciousness that are produced by the karma in one existence. So the karma produces its resultant consciousness. We say in the case of our human beings, the Mahakusala karma gives rise to a new existence, so there will be Mahavipaka Cheta. All these are Mahavipaka Cheta. So they are identical because they are produced by the same karma. So the first, the resultant consciousness, it functions as rebirth consciousness. So rebirth function, so we call it rebirth consciousness. And the subsequent, the resultant consciousness, they function as life continuum to keep the person alive for the whole period. Now, as soon as this resultant consciousness arises, we say in the case of Mahavipaka Cheta, up to the 33 mental factors associated with that Mahavipaka Cheta. So when one consciousness arises, you get consciousness and these 33 mental factors. So we say the Vedana is called Vedana Khanda, that is the feeling group. Sanya represents the perception group or the perception aggregate. And then the remaining mental factors, they represent the aggregate of mental formations. And consciousness is taken to be consciousness aggregate. So we have 4 resultant mental aggregates. And then the karma also produces the kammaja rupa. So at every sub-moment throughout the whole life, so the materiality, so from this kammaja rupa, so the utuja rupa also arises. So they form the material aggregate. So that means whenever one consciousness arises, we say we have 5 aggregates. So 5 aggregates, they constitute a living being. A living being is made up of 5 aggregates. So we call them 5 aggregates of existence. So this karma, it produces the 5 aggregates every conscious moment. So in that case we say a person comes into existence and he remains alive throughout this period.
咁咧，我哋而家講翻咧就係221頁啦。咁 就講啦，我哋死咗之後啊，咁就會結生啦。咁乜嘢令到我哋生存咧？咩令到我哋投生咧？又出生咧？咁唔係神，係我哋自己嘅業。咁咧，我哋做咗咁多業，就係咧一個比較強嘅業，係最後嗰刻令到我哋結生喺一個新嘅存在嘅空間啦。咁呢個業咧，佢就我哋睇翻呢個第9張圖咧，就係、同樣嘅業咧，佢咧我哋嘅 Patisanti Chitta 咧，即係我哋結生身咧係一個果報身嚟嘅。例如我哋嘅人咧，就係廣大果報身啦，我哋投生喺欲界善趣啦。咁之後咧，嗰個果報係不停咁樣產生嘅。結生心消失之後咧，就會有份心，不停咁樣生命，直至到我哋去到死亡嗰刻啦。咁所有令到我哋嘅有份心生嘅時候，我哋都同一類嘅果報心，亦都係同一類果報心。咁同時咧，大家都知道啦，意識唔會就咁樣全生起嘅，仲有心所一齊會生嘅。咁所以呢個業咧，就令到嗰個我哋嘅意識咧，個心識生起，同埋咧相應嘅嗰個心所生起。咁我知道心所咧就原本咧就係52個啦，但係咧我哋另外一種分類咧就係話咧，我哋將感受啦 Vedana 呢種呢個心所咧攞出嚟咧，就變成一蘊啦，我哋叫受蘊啦。咁我哋將想蘊又攞出嚟啦，想蘊其實心所三樣係心所入邊其中之一，我哋攞出嚟咧就係叫想蘊啦。咁意識本身係一個啦，咁其他50個咧就係叫行蘊。咁咧我哋即係另外一個分法咧，就係話咧業咧就令到意識同埋咧其他4蘊咧產生嘅。咁除咗心呢啲果報之外咧，我哋仲有業嘅。咁咧我哋嘅色法入邊咧，亦都有業生色啦。咁業生色咧，隨住我哋嘅業力推動佢咧，我哋嗰個果報咧係不停咁樣咧有相應嘅業生色咧係咁樣去生滅嘅，直至到我哋死亡。
Now, for a consciousness to arise, it needs a sense object to cling to and a physical base to depend on. So, what is the sense object? Taken by this rebirth consciousness and life continuum in the new existence. So, what is the sense object? I think you should know because I already told you before. So this rebirth consciousness, it takes that near-death sign that appears in the past life. So the near-death sign taken by those the Javana Chaita, we call near-death Javana Chaita. So the soon after death, so the Patisanti Chaita, rebirth consciousness arises, taking that near-death sign of the past life. And then it depends on the heart base provided by this Kamaja Rupa. So this Kamaja Rupa contains the heart base. So it takes that sense object and depends on this heart base, only then it can arise. Then the subsequent Bhoinga Chaita also takes the near-death sign. So that near-death sign is transmitted from one consciousness to another. So that the near-death sign does not arise in any sense, no, we say, so we don't know it. So they take that near-death sign, and they all depend on the heart base provided by the Kamaja Rupa or the arising.
我哋睇到咧呢個過程咧 ，Patisanti 結生身，跟住一個意識有份心咧。咁呢啲係意識嚟嘅，意識咧點樣會存在咧？咁佢有條件㗎啦。佢有2個好重要嘅條件，佢先存在。首先佢有一個所緣，佢先至生起嘅，唔會無啦啦自己生起嘅。咁另外咧，佢仲有一個依存先至生起嘅。咁呢2個條件咧係點樣得到咧？首先呢個所緣，我哋嘅結生身嘅所緣係乜嘢咧？我哋以前講過嘅，就係咧我哋前一世嘅臨死心嗰陣時死亡心嘅所緣嚟嘅。咁頭先我哋講咗嗰幾個心門啦，幾個心路過程啦。咁我哋有業啦，可以做所緣啦，業上或者隨上嘅。 咁最後嗰個我哋嘅觸行要嚟體驗嘅嗰個所緣，亦即係我哋而家結生心咧會執着嘅所緣係同一個所緣嚟嘅。咁結生心滅咗之後咧，呢一世所有嘅有份心生滅嘅時候咧，佢都會係用翻同一個所緣。咁咧如果個所緣係唔好嘅咧，都唔緊要，因為我哋唔會知，因為呢個所緣咧，因為我哋呢個果報心咧就唔係生喺我哋嘅五門當中嘅，係生喺我哋嘅二門嘅。咁咧二門咧，所以咧佢就嗰個二門咧，亦都係有嗰個業生識所支持嘅。咁所以咧，因為唔係我哋嘅感官嘅門咧，所以我哋唔會知道個所緣係咩，因為我哋唔知嘅。
Now we go to the next topic on page 221. So very interesting topic also. So now we say the planes of rebirth after death. After death. So please read this paragraph. You can read in your book. Death is the temporary end of a temporary phenomenon. By death is meant the extinction of psychic life, Jivitendriya, that is a mental factor, we call the psychic life. Heat, Usama, Usama is Tejo, Usama Tejo is the heat. So to be alive, we also need the heat. So when we die, the body becomes cold, the body becomes cold. So at the time of death, this psychic life is cut off, and the heat also it disappears. And then consciousness is also cut off. So by death is meant the extinction of psychic life, the heat and consciousness of one individual in a particular existence. But that is not the complete annihilation of a being. Death in one place means rebirth in another place, so long as the causes for the next life are not extinct. So that's quite interesting. So we say, when you have the death consciousness here, you die in the present existence, you die in the present existence, but immediately you are born in the new existence. So that means you, in some way we say, when one consciousness dissolves, you die momentarily, and then when the next consciousness arises, you are born again. So even in the present life, we are born dead, born dead, born dead, born dead, born dead, we are going like that. So the same thing at the time of death, so we die and then we are born. The same thing, the same process. So in other words, you can say you never die. You never die. Just like they say, there was a saying, the sun never sets in the British Empire. So when the British Empire have all the whole world, so they have, the sun never sets in the British Empire. So if the sun sets here, it arises in another place. So when the sun sets in Hong Kong, the sun rises in New York. So it never the set is always going on. So the same thing, we are always alive. Okay.
咁咧下一段咧，我哋就講緊咧，我哋投生啦喺邊啲地方嘅，喺唔同嘅界別啦。咁度咧就講死亡咧，不過係一個暫時嘅終結，係一個暫時嘅現象，即係所有嘅嘢都係暫時嘅啫。咁如果用呢個阿毗達摩嘅觀點嚟睇咧，死亡咧，不過咧就係喺有兩樣嘢發生，就係我哋嘅命根啦，我哋嘅命根完結啦，同埋我哋嘅火咧，個火帶色身入邊嘅火帶咧就紫色，係呢兩樣啫。咁我哋嘅意識咧，因為冇咗呢啲所以需要支持嘅嘢咧，就會唔喺呢個色身入邊再存在啦。咁佢咧就會投生啦。但係呢個死亡喺呢個色身咧，唔係一個個體嘅，即係唔係一個完全嘅毀滅啦，即係唔係乜嘢都冇晒㗎啦。因為我哋嘅業仲有啊嘛，所以業咧就帶我哋另外咧去投生。 咁另外一個睇法嚟睇咧，即係我哋一個生命一個人嘅死亡，咁可以講咧，我哋會再去投生啦。咁另外一個角度睇就係話咧，我哋其實每一個剎那咧，每一個生息咧都會生同埋滅嘅。咁其實每一個生息咧，佢每一個都會唔同，因為我哋每一次都做咗新嘅業嘅，咁佢每一個都唔同。舊嘅死咗，新嘅出現，個新嘅同舊嘅都係唔同嘅。但係咧，佢就唔會冇咗，唔會消失嘅。咁個業力咧擁住佢咧，一路咁樣係生滅，所以我哋亦都可以講咧係生死生死咁不停咁樣嘅，咁樣流轉嘅。
So you can see the significance again. Like in science, they say when we die, so we are not born again. Finished, they say. So we say it is the wrong view of the annihilation. So you are not born again. And in other religions, they say you live only one existence. So after this existence, you just wait for the judgment day. Then you'll be judged. Then you'll be born either in the eternal heaven or in the eternal hell, they say. No such thing. No such thing. So according to Buddhism, we say, we never die. So we are living not only for one existence. We are living for uncountable existences. And we should know this existence is just one link in a chain of uncountable existences. And what we have done in the past, we reap the fruit in this life. And what we did, what we do in this life, we shall reap the fruit in the next life. And especially the karma, the good karma and the bad karma that we did here. We can get the fruits we have already described, not only in this life, but also in the future lives, uncountable future lives, until we attain the Nibbana. So it's very important. What we think, what we do are very important, not for one existence. So now the people, they can see only one existence. They concentrate only for this one existence. And they don't know what will happen in the next life. Like in the case of the Buddha, he could see all these things. So he described this in the Abhidhamma. We are very, very glad to understand the description of the Buddha very clearly.
咁咧，我哋嘅生命咧，就其實咧，因為係唔會被毀滅啦，因為我哋做嘅業果咧，永遠令到仲有新嘅生命存在啦。咁咧，教授咧頭先用咗個例子，就係大英帝國咧曾經咧有個稱號咧，就係日不落國嘅。個太陽咧雖然喺佢嘅國家本土落咗啦，但係可能佢嘅領土、佢嘅殖民地其他國家又升起嘅。咁我哋亦都係啦，我哋嘅生命可能喺呢度死咗啦，喺呢一期生命，咁投生咧就會喺第二度發生啦。咁呢啲唯物主義論者咧就會覺得人死咧就乜嘢都冇晒嘅，或者咧有啲宗教咧亦都會講咧人咧只係出世一次啫，咁死咗之後咧，咁佢咧就會等到呢個最後嘅審判日啦。咁視乎個審判係點樣啦，一係咧就喺天國永生啦，一係咧就永久喺地獄嘅。咁喺佛教觀點嚟睇咧，呢啲都係唔正確嘅。咁我哋咧就知道咧，我哋係不停咁樣輪迴啦，我哋係已經輪迴咗無數咁多次㗎啦。咁所以咧，我哋而我哋有咗咁樣嘅知見咧、智慧咧，我哋咧就唔應該好似一般人咁樣，淨係咧為呢一生打算啦，淨係為而家打算。我哋知道我哋所做嘅所有嘅嘢都係有業報嘅，每一個當下，我哋每一個思咧，冇客做出嚟講出嚟嘅，每一個心思產生嘅時候 ，Chaitanya 咧都係做咗業嘅。而呢啲業咧，邊個係承受呢個果報咧？咁就會係第二個眾生啦，或者我哋今生我哋自己可能承受呢個果報啦。咁我哋種嘅果種子一定咧就係我哋自己食翻個果嘅。咁所以我哋要好小心啦，唔係淨係目光短淺咧，淨係諗住今一生啦，唔諗以後嘅。
So I think you please look on page 222, the second paragraph. Now we ask you here, what are the possible planes of rebirth after death. So if a person dies in one place, where can he be born? So now we